Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to be in South Africa to attend the BRICS Summit. He's going to South Africa at the invitation of the President of the Republic of South Africa, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa. Soon after arrival, Prime Minister Modi will participate in the BRICS Business Forum Leaders Dialogue and the BRICS Leaders Retreat. Prime Minister Modi is expected to participate in discussions on issues related to economic cooperation, food security and BRICS expansion. As per sources, the Prime Minister is expected to hold a bilateral meet with Iran, Mozambique and Ethiopia on August 24th. Meanwhile, Chinese President Xi Jinping will also be in South Africa to attend the summit. As the India-China border standoff refuses to die down despite 19 rounds of talks, all eyes will be on the two leaders as it remains to be seen whether they will hold a bilateral meeting or not.
The host country, South Africa, has invited large number of guest countries, besides, of course, the BRICS members who would be present there. The Prime Minister's schedule in terms of bilateral meetings with those leaders who would be present in South Africa is still being developed.
India's point of view, development dimension and issues that are so crucial and critical for the global South, on which Prime Minister visionary leadership has always been emphasizing, that the solutions and the challenges for the global South, that we all have to collectively work together. There are lots of ideas of Prime Minister Modi's which are being discussed in the BRICS meetings, in the negotiations at the Sherpa level, and this will feed into the leaders' declaration in a couple of days from now.
Joining us right now is Peter van Olselen, who is in fact joining us live from Johannesburg at the moment. Thank you, Peter, for speaking to India today. Give us a sense of what is going to be on the agenda of this BRICS Summit, an extremely crucial meeting of BRICS leaders.
Yeah, it is indeed. It's just gone 6:45 in the morning here in Johannesburg, and there really is a lot of hype, a lot of interest around the BRICS Summit. I was in the precinct yesterday afternoon, just looking around and seeing, the security has been ramped up. As you mentioned there's over 30 heads of state that are expected to descend on Johannesburg over the next 3 days. Prime Minister Modi is expected to arrive. We have it here at about 1:45 local time here in Johannesburg. He will be landing at Waterkloof Air Force Base, which is about a 30-minute drive from the Sandton Central Business District, which is where everything will be hosted this week. And so many dynamics are at play. As you mentioned, Chinese President Xi Jinping will be in town as well. We know that Lula da Silva, the Brazilian president, has arrived. He arrived yesterday and was welcomed by delegates here. So it really is, there's so many talking points. As you mentioned, a lot of people seem to be cramming for Xi Jinping in terms of this new bloc, this extension of the BRICS bloc, and who will be invited and what kind of agreements will be made in terms of who will be able to join. It's been dubbed as the global North versus the global South, trying to get away from our reliance on US dollar-based economies. So we know Narendra Modi will be, as you said, he will be chatting to a BRICS business forum. He'll also be chatting to the Indian diaspora, a huge amount of expat Indians in South Africa and Johannesburg. So he will be chatting with them a little bit later. And then this evening, a BRICS leaders retreat. So, you wish you could be a fly on the wall on that retreat. As you know, we have Xi Jinping, we've got Narendra Modi. And interestingly, Cyril Ramaphosa, just 2 evenings ago, gave a national television address to the nation, outlining South Africa's foreign policy, trying to preempt what his discussions will be this week. We do know that Xi Jinping is on a state visit as well as attending the BRICS Summit, but he will also have a bilateral with Narendra Modi at some point over the next 3 days.
Right. You did speak about how the expansion of the BRICS bloc is going to be a focal point of this meeting. We do know that while there are countries like China who are extremely keen on expansion because they do want to see this bloc emerge as a bloc which can in fact challenge Western hegemony, there are countries like India, like South Africa, that have expressed their reservations about the expansion plans.
Well, that's going to be the big talking point. Not only the expansion plan, but who's going to join and what kind of format it's going to take. At the moment, BRICS seems like a fairly solid bloc, albeit that South Africa is one of the smaller economies in that. But Iran is on that list as well. Indonesia is on that list. Nigeria, Argentina. Do you extend it more with an African focus? There are a lot of political games at play here, and China seem to be pulling the this block. There's over 20, Ramaphosa said. On Sunday evening that over 20 between cementing these trade relations with certain countries, and certain countries don't have great trade relations with others. So it will be interesting to see, I'm sure at the end of the week that they will announce a possible increase in the bloc. What will it be called and what kind of format will it take? That will obviously be uncovered come Thursday.
Right. Also, of course, from the India perspective, a lot in terms of the focus is on the possibility of a bilateral between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Will it happen? Will it not? What are you hearing on the ground?
We are hearing on the ground that it will happen.
Okay.
That Xi Jinping will entertain a bilateral with Narendra Modi. He is quite busy in terms of his schedule. There is a state visit for Xi Jinping as well. So he will be at the Union buildings with Cyril Ramaphosa. It's a clambering for the Chinese. It just seems like everyone wants a piece. It's not often that you get that opportunity to sit down. But the word on the street is that there will be a bilateral between Narendra Modi and Xi Jinping.
Right. Peter, thank you so much for joining us here on India Today. We'll, of course, keep coming back to you as, of course, that summit begins. And there are all of those meetings that happen, especially that retreat as well, that you said that everyone would like to be a fly on the wall as far as that retreat is concerned. Thank you so much for joining us.
India's #1 political reporter.
Defines what seems to be happening, vendetta politics. कोई दूध के से धुला हुआ नहीं है.
Unmatched eye, unmatched experience.
The world has changed. My black hair has become grey as well.
And with unmatched passion for the story.
Do not monopolize the conversation.
When it's 100% news that matters. It's News Today with Rajdeep Sardesai. Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Only on India Today TV. India's #1 political reporter.
Defines what seems to be happening, vendetta politics. कोई दूध के से धुला हुआ नहीं है.
Unmatched eye, unmatched experience.
The world has changed. My black hair has become grey as well.
And with unmatched passion for the story.
Do not monopolize the conversation.
When it's 100% news that matters. It's News Today with Rajdeep Sardesai. Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Only on India Today TV.